All right, welcome back to another speaking practice. Okay, so this is another speaking practice session. We have 3 people today, and they are working on their speaking practice, and we should go to part 1 now. So Mr. Katurn is a new student. Mr. Do you know how the IELTS speaking is?
Not really.
Okay, so for part 1, you just have to answer this question in the most natural way possible, okay? Chỉ cần trả lời mấy câu hỏi này một cách mà tự nhiên nhất có thể thôi. For one question, try to expand it, like make it like 2 or 3 sentences. Try to expand the ideas. Like for example, the question, do you like to sing? You can expand it like, what exactly do I like to sing? Or do I always like to sing? Something like that, you know, try to expand it. Mình nên mở rộng một cái chủ đề ra. Ví dụ như là cái câu do you like to sing thì mình sẽ nói là tôi thích hát hay không, thích hát loại nhạc gì, tâm trạng thế nào tôi hát, bạn tôi thì sao, something like that. Mình tìm cách mở rộng ra để làm cho cái câu trả lời nó dài một chút xíu thì nó mới có cái để cho giám khảo họ chấm điểm mình. So try to make the questions, the answer a bit longer, so the examiner, they have something to give you a grade. Okay, so what is important in part 1? Your pronunciation, how fluent your English speaking is. These 2 are the most important, okay? It doesn't matter vocabulary much at this stage. It's just part 1 is warm up. Cái part 1 nó chỉ là để làm cho warm up, làm nóng cái cuống họng lên các bạn thôi. Và làm các bạn quen với lại cái môi trường thi thôi. Nó không quan trọng về từ vựng lắm đâu. Nên part 1 chỉ quan trọng là gì, ráng nói trôi chảy chút xíu và cái phát âm. For part 2, they will give you like, say, a kind of topic like this, for example. A topic like this. And then you have to talk about that topic for 1 to 2 minutes, okay? And you have 60 seconds to think about what you have to say. This test tests your ability to use tenses, like past tense, future tense, present tense. But remember, you have a time constraint. You cannot talk too much, okay? For part 2, you have to focus on what you should say. Don't go overboard, okay? Part 2 nó chỉ cho các bạn một cái chủ đề nào đó để mình miêu tả. Mình có 60 giây để mà mình suy nghĩ. Và cái khoảng thời gian mình nói là từ 60 đến 120 giây. Quá cái đó mình sẽ ngắt nha. So, vậy thì cái gì quan trọng cho part 2? Nó là cái thì mình sử dụng. Có đúng hay không? Động từ đó thì đúng hay không? Và khả năng kể chuyện nó có đúng cái nội dung hay không, chứ đừng có đi quá nhiều lạc ra ngoài nha. Tập trung vào mấy cái you should say thôi. For part 3, okay, for part 2, of course you have to pronounce things correctly and your English must be natural as well. Đương nhiên part 2 ngoài cái dụ cái thì sử dụng thì cái tiếng Anh mình phải trôi chảy và cũng phải phát âm đúng. For part 3, the requirements is even more than that. You have to use higher level vocabulary and try to expand your ideas. Did you say something? Hello, did you say something? Oh, never mind. So all the requirements for part 1 and 2 applies for part 3. Is that your side? What happened?
It's a noise.
Yeah, it's a noise from your side.
Yeah. It comes from my laptop, I think.
Yeah, okay, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine because here I'm using Crispy here. Don't worry about it. And okay, it's pretty good in canceling the noise, but they asked me to activate echo cancellation. It's just echo, tiếng vang thôi mà. But other noise, it cancels most of the noise, yeah. Most of the noises are cancelled, but it cannot be 100%. Cái chương trình này nó loại bỏ các tiếng ồn thì thực sự là phần đông nó bị loại bỏ thôi, nhưng mà không thể nào hoàn hảo quá được. Okay, for part 3, you have to use higher level vocabulary and Try to expand your ideas, give examples more, try to prove your points, you know. So bring everything that you know about English out in part 3, because part 3 is when the examiner asks you very complicated questions and try to push you to your limits. So bring all the thing you know about English out. Part 3 là bao gồm tất cả những cái requirement part 1, part 2 trước đã, rồi còn cộng thêm phải nói dùng cái từ vựng mà cao cấp hơn một chút xíu, và quan trọng là phải cho ví dụ, phải biết cách để mà mình chứng minh cho cái điều mình đang nói là đúng, và phải làm cho cái câu nói nó dài ra. You have to make your speech a bit longer. My advice is like try to make it as long as possible in part 3, so the examiner would not have enough time to ask you even more questions. Cái advice hay là part 3 ráng cố gắng làm sao mà nói thật nhiều vô, để cho giám khảo không có thời gian để mà hỏi câu khó khăn khác. Because remember, when you take exam, you have only 15 minutes. And other people waiting outside the exam room, they have to wait for you to finish so they can go in, you know. So basically, if you make your answer long enough, I think the examiner will be okay with that. Nhớ nha, lúc đi thi thì luôn có nhiều người ta chờ sẵn, chờ các bạn thi xong người ta mới vô được. Cho nên ráng cố gắng part 3 nói cho thật nhiều vô, để cho giám khảo không có thời gian để mà hỏi những câu khó hơn như vậy. Alright, so that's about it. We can go to part 1 now. Back to part 1. Okay, let's go to topic number 14 now, class. It's about studying mathematics. Nói về chuyện học toán. So it's not about solving math questions, okay? It's just about learning math. Nó không liên quan đến chuyện giải toán đâu, nó chỉ liên quan đến chuyện mà mình học toán như thế nào hồi đó thôi. Okay. So we have a few questions like this. Like for example, when did you start learning math? Khi nào bạn bắt đầu học toán? Bắt đầu học toán. Do you like math? Có thích toán không? Who taught you math? Ai đã dạy bạn môn toán? Do you remember your math teacher? Có nhớ những người giáo viên dạy toán của bạn không? Is math difficult for you to learn? Toán có khó cho bạn để học không? Do students learn math in high school? You know, junior high school là trường cấp 2. Junior high school means like from grade 6 to 9. Senior means older. Senior high school means like grade 10 to 12. Đó, cấp 2 Việt Nam là junior high school. Cấp 3 Việt Nam là senior high school. So do students learn math in high school in Vietnam? Học sinh có học toán trong những trường cấp 2, cấp 3 Việt Nam không? Do you like to use a calculator? Các bạn thích sử dụng máy tính không? Máy tính nha. Do you think it's necessary to learn math? Anh chị có nghĩ rằng học toán là cần thiết không? What can people do with math in their daily life? Con người ta có thể làm cái gì với môn toán ở cái đời sống thường ngày của họ? Okay, so let's start with Mr. Vũ, please. Since you have already taken the IELTS exam, so you know how it is. So Mr. Vũ, when did you start learning math?
I remember I start learning math at maybe primary school.
Oh, primary school.
Yeah, primary school, maybe the first class. So actually the math is the first class in my high school. So that's why I just remember I didn't remember my teacher, my math teacher, but
that's a bit sad
yeah,
to see, you know.
Maybe a long time I didn't remember anything more.
Oh yeah, you don't remember anything more, but it's a bit sad to say that you don't remember your teacher, you know.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
But true.
Yeah, sad but true. Don't worry, I don't remember my students either. So it's just fair, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Okay.
I don't remember people too much if they don't talk to me that much, you know. But it's fine.
Yeah.
If they have my Facebook, I can still know them, then I remember them. But normally I don't.
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Trung, how about you? Do you like math?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, actually, I don't like math, but I think math is really important and very helpful. Okay, so there's one teacher in my junior junior high school. I remember because uh, he was very excellent at teaching math. Okay,
It was
and
okay. Excellent is actually a how can I say, an extreme adjective, I think. An extreme adjective. Nó là một cái tính từ tận cùng về nghĩa nha. So if it is an extreme adjective, I think you can go with an extreme adverb. But normally,
yes,
I think excellent, we don't use any adverb like very with it. Cái chữ excellent nó vốn đi mình thôi à. Thường nó không đi kèm adverb nào khác. So I think he's excellent in his teaching or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
Okay,
So he's
try
very
again.
good at teaching math. I remember when I was in junior high school, there was a teacher. He's very good at teaching math. He was the one who inspired, not also me, but also
Inspire, right? Inspire, right? Y ngắn R
Inspire.
là I-R. Inspire.
inspire. Yeah, he was the one who inspired me and my classmates to study math. Okay, thanks to him, all of us could understand the equations and everything related to math. But after junior high school, we no longer met the teacher.
We no longer met our teacher, so we no longer remember him.
So we lost our passion for mathematics. Okay.
I hope that I imbue or I fill you in with a lot of passion for learning English. I hope I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, so Miss Tường, please. Okay, cái bật mic này. Just turn on your microphone, please. Okay, so Miss Tường, who taught you math before? Do you remember?
Well, I think that wait. So to be honest, that I don't actually like good at remember people and names, you know. But I think that my best memories about my math teacher was when I was in my 6th grade. She was my, she was my favorite math teacher named Miss New. You know, she had excellent skills in maths, and her behavior, the way of teaching was, you know, kind of incredible. So that's why all of my students in that class were excited and interesting to learn mathematics from her.
You mean it's interesting to learn from her, or it's interested? Which one?
Interesting.
Yes, because you're describing the nature of learning. Mình đang miêu tả cái bản chất của chuyện học. You need to use interesting. Very good. Okay, so Mr. Vũ, do you remember your math teachers?
I just remember the name of my math teacher. He taught me as 10th grade. So his name, his first name.
He taught you in 10th grade, right?
Yep. And his name was Win, and now he retired. So sometime when I get back to my high school, I usually meet him in he just walk around the school and
walk
around the school, and yeah, he just came to the school and talking with the other. Yeah, that's all.
Interesting. I see. So, Mr. Wu, is math difficult for you to learn? Do you remember that time when you learned math, for example?
So
Okay.
actually, I was I wasn't so good in the math, but actually I can pass the exam, which maybe not too high point, but it's enough for me.
It's enough for
So
you.
yeah.
Yes, it's enough.
Yeah, that's
for
all.
you. Okay, it's just good enough. It's fine. You don't need to be excellent at something, you know.
Yeah.
But when you are in the work environment, you have to be excellent if you want to earn well, you know.
Yeah.
In school, it's okay to be, you know, average, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Trung, what do you think? Is math difficult for you to learn?
Yeah, okay, in my opinion, mathematics is really difficult to learn because it involves a lot of numbers and figures and equations.
A lot of numbers and figures. Okay, figure and numbers are the same thing, you know, because figures also mean numbers. Figures. Right. We often say facts and figures, you know.
That's
facts and figures.
And I'm not good at calculating.
Calculating.
And working with numbers. I used to work with a lot of numbers before, but it was really stressful, so I don't like
Of course,
math.
it was stressful, yes. Well, but which one is more stressful? Learning math, studying math, or studying for the IELTS exam? Which one is more stressful? Which one is more stressful?
I think both are difficult to me.
Well, but at least I think learning for the IELTS is more stressful.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. Yeah. At least with math, you find the answer and you feel good about it. But for IELTS, you just keep on learning and you don't see the end. Không thấy ánh sáng, không thấy ánh sáng của con đường luôn á. It's like you don't see the end of the tunnel. Không thấy ánh sáng ở cuối đường hầm luôn á. The light at the end of the tunnel, you don't find it.
Tunnel, the train coming from the other way.
Oh wow, it's like the train coming from the other side. Giống như tự nhiên tàu chờ tới từ cái phần bên còn lại. Wow. Okay, so Mr. Ung, please. Do students learn math in high school in Vietnam? And what do you think about it?
Pardon?
Do students learn math in high schools in Vietnam? And what do you think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. You know, we learned math all throughout high school. It's kind of an important compulsory subject from primary school to high school curriculum. You know, math may have been difficult in school, but it was definitely necessary to know on a daily basis.
Okay, it's necessary to know, I see. Okay, I see. Okay, maybe I should increase the volume here. Okay, right, got it. So, Mr. Ung, do you think it's necessary to learn math? Like, do you think we focus too much on math in Vietnam, or maybe no? Like, we have to learn so many things, like derivative, đạo hàm. Tích phân nó là integral. Ma trận, matrix. These are the very advanced math. These are advanced math, you know. But students from grade 11 and 12, they have to learn derivative and integral, sometimes matrix as well. Do you think it's too much, Mr. Ung? Because you are in Hello Hong Phong High School now, so you know what I'm talking about, I think.
So, well, I think it's kind of necessary and important for us to study math. Math is kind of incredibly important in our lives, and without realizing it, we use mathematic concepts as well as the skills we learn from doing math problems every day in our SS classes. So I think that we can adopt something in our daily life.
Right.
But that's the reasons why students need to study math, although they're in colleges, universities, or just primary school.
But do you think that we do it too much? Because I see that most of what we learn from math cannot be used in our daily life. What do you think about it, Mr. Wu? What do you think about the fact that we actually learn too many things in math in schools, but in our daily life it's rare that we find an occasion that we can use them?
So I think this is necessary for...
Necessary? It is necessary. Careful. Okay, please continue. It's necessary.
Yeah, I think it's necessary for the student, for the people, for the student, because when they build the education program about the math or some subjects, I think the government need to build from the core and from the easy to the hard. So I think I don't know why, but I think everything the student need to learn is very necessary in their life.
It's very necessary for their
daily life or something in their future job. I think.
Well, it sounds a bit vague, you know. Nghe hơi bị mơ hồ. Yeah, it sounds a bit vague. Yes, it doesn't sound very convincing, though.
Because it's my job, I usually use the knowledge about from my primary school, and sometimes I had to find something about mathematics or something, maybe mathematics or something, because I don't know why, but I think it's very necessary for students. I think so.
What do you think, Mr. Trung? Do you think it's necessary to learn math? I don't hear you. Something wrong with the microphone, I think.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's necessary to learn math because in real life we need to be good at calculating when we are at the supermarket or at the convenience store, some cashier, they can swing. Sometimes they try to.
You mean sometimes they try to cheat on us or something?
Yeah, that's correct.
Of course, people try to do that all the time.
Yeah, and we need to be real quick at math, do some calculation on the bill to check whether the cashiers they are honest or not. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well, that happens all the time, though. Okay. Well, that's a good point to learn, I think. To avoid being cheated. Yeah, true. But one other reason I think it's necessary to learn math is because you indirectly train your logical thinking skills. Một cách mà mình gọi là indirectly, một cách mà gián tiếp. Indirectly, you do that. Without a good logical thinking skills, it's tough to survive in this world.
Yeah.
Especially for Vietnamese people, we have an agricultural background. Cái nền và văn hóa nông nghiệp, agricultural background Vietnamese people. It makes people very emotional, and they act on emotion. And they act on emotions. Con người Việt Nam nó thiệt luôn á, hành động toàn dựa vào cảm xúc mà. Emotional, and they act on emotions much more than logic. So it's important to train using math, I think. So they have a better logical thinking skills. They make better decision. To make better decision. To make better purchase. Mua sắm thông minh hơn nữa. To make better purchase. Because a lot of people, you know, these days with sales, with Black Friday, with all the promotions, they think that they are getting their goods or items for cheaper. But in fact, the more they buy cheap, the poorer they become. You know that, right? Càng mua rẻ bao nhiêu các bạn càng nghèo. But it gives you the feeling, but it actually gives you the feeling that you gain something by buying cheap. But the problem is, in reality, it actually makes you very poor. So it's a much better purchase to buy items that are of high quality, but at higher prices, because you do not have to replace them often, right? Mua đồ mắc hơn chút xíu nhưng mà nó chất lượng tốt, mình sẽ không phải thay thế nó nên thường xuyên hơn. So basically it actually saves you money in the long run. That is a better purchase. It saves you money in the long run. Trên đường dài nó tiết kiệm tiền cho mình. And that is good logical thinking skills. And it can be indirectly taught or trained using math. So Ms. Tường, please. What do you think? Do you like to use a calculator, and what do you think about it?
Okay, so I think that I love to use the calculator in my day-to-day life and also in mathematics too.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm stuck in a situation where my mind is not finding a solution anymore. So that time I opted to use the calculator and solve that situation in a second. Secondly, I'm fond of using a calculator because it makes life kind of simpler, easier, and flexible enough to check whether our answers are correct or not. And it also provides like a piece of accurate information too.
You mean it provides great information, isn't it? Interesting. You're talking about graphing calculator, right? It's called graphic calculator. Máy tính mà theo kiểu mà vẽ được đồ thị á, it's called graphic calculator. It provides you some information, yes. But Miss Tường, what do you think? Some schools, they do not allow students to use calculator in primary schools, but they force students to learn how to calculate by themselves. What do you think about this one, Tường? Why is it?
I think that the reasons why that teachers and the principals do not allow primary students to use calculators and calculating maths and other subjects because they want the students to improve their logical thinking and to solve, because it's just, we just study the basic maths in primary school, so I think it's not really necessary for them to use the calculator too soon since they move to secondary school. But we have can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, I asked what do you think about schools in Vietnam? They force students, pupils, to study math and calculating without calculator in primary schools. Yeah, that's a question. And you're right, yes, it's to train their logical thinking skills, but the other reason I think is to avoid the dependence on technology, you know. Nó tránh cái sự mà phụ thuộc vào công nghệ đó nha. Because students these days, they have to be exposed to many different technological devices, like for example iPad, iPhone, smartphones, all kinds of smartphones. So it's very easy to be dependent on technology, and it's not a good thing, you know. There has been research about this one. Well, if people are too dependent on calculator and their math skills are not good, they stand a higher chance to get cheated in the market, of course. And they're not very sharp, let's say. They're not very sharp. Đầu óc suy nghĩ không được thông minh lắm đâu, không được mà gọi là tinh nhanh lắm đâu. They're not very sharp, which is bad when you are in the job market, you know. It's not a good thing. Okay, so let's go to part 2 now. We should do that. Okay, I'll choose a part 2 question for you. Okay, something. Okay, I'll choose a part 2 question, number 2. Moment, please. I need to move this thing. Okay, there you go. And here you are. Okay, and maybe this one needs to be moved like this. Okay, you see it. Okay. Part 2. Describe a famous person you are interested in. Miêu tả một cái người nổi tiếng mà mình hứng thú về cái người đó. A famous person you are interested in. You should say who he or she is. Cái người này là ai vậy? How you knew about him or her. Làm thế nào bạn đã biết về cái người này? So you have to talk about how you knew that person. Past tense, okay? Quá khứ nha. What he or she is like. Cái người đó như thế nào? Like for example, you can talk about their personality. Có thể nói về tính cách của họ. What they do. What kind of friends they often hang out with. Thường chơi với bạn thế nào? Họ làm gì? Tính cách như thế ra sao? Like what is their appearance? Cái ngoại hình như thế nào? Something like that. Explain why you are interested in him or her. Và giải thích tại sao mình lại hứng thú về cái người này. You know? Okay, that is for part 2, okay? Part 3 about famous person. What kinds of famous people are there in your country? Ở đất nước bạn có những loại người nổi tiếng nào? So we talk about famous people. It means we talk about celebrity. Những người celebrity. Okay. So when we talk about famous people or celebrity, they can be famous in any field. Họ có thể nổi tiếng ở bất kỳ ngành nghề nào. Talk about kinds of famous people. You can talk about that. Để nói về những loại người nổi tiếng. You can talk about famous people in business, for example. Làm doanh nghiệp chẳng hạn. Famous people in education field, for example. Famous people in trading. In cryptocurrency, for example. Tiền ảo, tiền crypto, tiền mã hóa chẳng hạn. Hoặc là trading là mậu dịch, giao dịch chẳng hạn. Famous people in sometimes you can talk about famous people in entertainment, business, or we call them showbiz, you know, show business or showbiz. Ngành công nghiệp giải trí. There can be celebrity in sports, trong thể thao. Can be celebrity in, like for example, if they do something good for the country, like they are hero, for example, một cái anh hùng chẳng hạn, làm gì đó tốt cho đất nước chẳng hạn. War hero, for example, những anh hùng chiến tranh chẳng hạn, like war heroes. And you should talk about give examples about what they do and what people think about them. Cho ví dụ, con người ta nghĩ gì về họ đã làm những cái gì. Try to make it longer. Okay, next question. What are the differences between famous people today and those in the past? Những người nổi tiếng ngày nay và những người nổi tiếng trong quá khứ có khác nhau cái gì không? Có những sự khác nhau gì? Okay. You can talk about of course their appearance, their contribution, những sự cống hiến, contribution to the society, những sự cống hiến của họ cho xã hội. Think about doing charity work, làm từ thiện. Think about their mindset, for example. Their mindsets, cái cách suy nghĩ của họ khác gì ngày xưa không? How about their mindsets and their how can I say, cái cách mà họ thể hiện á, cái sự nổi tiếng của họ, like the way they express themselves, the way a celebrity express themselves. Cách thể hiện của họ khác gì với ngày xưa không? Họ khiêm tốn hơn không? Họ có hay nổ hay nói nhiều hơn hay không? Có hay giảng đạo hay kêu ta phải sống thế nào hay kia hay không? Do they actually tell people how to live a better life? How to do they lecture people how to live better? Cái này rất là thường xuyên thấy được ở Việt Nam nha. Hay giảng đạo kêu là con người ta phải sống như thế nào tốt hơn. This one is actually quite popular in Vietnam. Unfortunately, you know, it's quite unfortunate. Okay, how about in the past? What did they do? Trong quá khứ thì làm sao? Okay, next question. Should celebrities contribute to cống hiến cho cái gì đó? Should celebrities contribute more to the country that they live in and why? Những người nổi tiếng có nên cống hiến nhiều hơn cho đất nước mà họ sang sinh sống không? Tại sao? You should. My hint is that you should talk about their social duty, their social duties, những bổn phận xã hội của họ. Think about their social duties. If you have a good social standing or social status, địa vị xã hội, địa vị chỗ đứng xã hội, people listen to you, right? So it means that if you do good, people will look up to you for guidance. Look up to someone for guidance. Nếu mà mình làm tốt, nếu mà những người nổi tiếng mà làm tốt á, thì những người khác sẽ giống như là tìm đến họ để mà có sự lời khuyên chẳng hạn. And of course you can do much more with your social standing than a normal person, because people listen to you. Đương nhiên người nổi tiếng thì có cái địa vị xã hội tốt, người ta sẽ lắng nghe mình hơn rất nhiều, mình có thể làm được rất là nhiều thứ luôn á. You can do a lot of things, so you have social duties, yeah. However, when you do something wrong, when you do wrong things, of course it can have an adverse effect, a bad effect on the society as well. Làm tốt hay làm xấu không cần biết, thì cái ảnh hưởng lên xã hội nó cũng sẽ y chang như thế, tiêu cực hoặc tích cực nhiều hơn. Okay, so think about that. But the question here talk about should celebrity contribute more to the country they live in and why? You should, besides from social duties, you can talk about like what is it? Their wealth as well, tài sản của họ. Of course, if they are famous, they should be also quite rich, because accumulation of wealth, sự tích góp của cải tài sản của họ nó dễ dàng hơn người thường. If they are famous, of course people look up to them, people go to them for work or services. So their accumulation of wealth appears to be or maybe easier than the other people, for example. So it means that they have the means, họ có phương cách, có cách luôn, họ có cái phương tiện, they have the means to help the society much more than normal people could. Họ có những phương cách, họ có cách, họ có điều kiện để giúp những xã hội nhiều hơn là người bình thường có thể làm. What else? Well, celebrities, there's also a reason why, or there are also several reasons why they are famous, right? It could be because of talent. It could be because of their influences, their influence, ảnh hưởng của họ. Có thể do sức ảnh hưởng của họ nữa và cái tài năng. What they can use that talent or influence for, you figure out, okay? Họ có thể dùng cái tài năng và ảnh hưởng đó cho mục đích gì, các bạn phải figure it out, các bạn phải tự nói được. Alright. Nhưng mà tập trung vào cái vấn đề chính là họ có nên cống hiến nhiều hơn hay không. Focus on the fact that should they contribute more or not, okay? Now, next question. Do you think famous people are necessarily, this is an adverb, trạng từ của nó, necessarily, nhất thiết là cái gì đó. Do you think famous people are necessarily good in their fields? Bạn có nghĩ những người nổi tiếng thì nhất thiết là phải giỏi trong cái ngành của họ hay không? Có nhất thiết là phải rất giỏi trong ngành của họ hay không? Well, you think about that, what I just said. There are some exceptions that famous people are not really that good in their fields, but they are famous because of what they do to the society, or because of what's it called? They are influenced. Nhiều khi có những người nổi tiếng nhưng mà họ không quá giỏi trong ngành của họ, nhưng mà họ có cái sự mà sức ảnh hưởng lên cộng đồng. Hoặc là họ có cái gì? Hoặc những gì họ làm á, nó ảnh hưởng cộng đồng. Nhưng mà chính những cái họ đang làm thì lại không quá giỏi. Well, you should think about this question, you know, and give examples. Cho ví dụ nhiều vô. Do you think the media is putting too much attention on famous people? Bạn có nghĩ truyền thông đang đặt quá nhiều sự chú ý lên trên người nổi tiếng không? Well, think about the fact that you always see stories of famous people online whenever you turn on your smartphone, your iPad, your TV, something like that. And you should talk about why they have to do so. Tại sao là phải đặt quá nhiều chú ý lên người nổi tiếng? Tại vì có thể là cho tăng số lượng người coi chương trình chẳng hạn, hoặc là bán được báo, hoặc là tăng lượt quảng cáo chẳng hạn, something like that. It could be because to boost sales, gia tăng doanh số. It could be because famous people court fame. Những người nổi tiếng họ cứ hấp dẫn cái sự nổi tiếng tiếp nữa. Nó giống như là tiếng thơm lây vậy đó. Famous people court fame. Think about the fact that the people are much more interested in stories of famous people than, like, you know, things that are related to them or things that affect them, you know. Nói về người nổi tiếng thì nhiều khi người ta khoái lắm, nhưng mà nói về những câu vấn đề mà ảnh hưởng trực tiếp đến họ thì lại con người ta lại không khoái, không thích. Like for example, stories about natural disasters, COVID or something like that might not be so alluring or attractive to viewers compared to the dramas between famous people, for example, Trấn Thành and someone else. You know? So maybe that's why. Okay, next question and the last one in part 3. Do you think that famous people deserve to have their privacy protected? To have someone privacy protected. Có hai cách đọc nha, privacy hoặc privacy. To have someone privacy is protected. Bảo vệ sự riêng tư của ai đó. Các bạn có nghĩ những người nổi tiếng xứng đáng được bảo vệ sự riêng tư không? Do they deserve to have their privacy protected? Think about human rights, you know. Hãy nghĩ về những quyền con người. Trong đó có quyền được tự do, quyền được bảo vệ bí mật, quyền được gọi là được sống bình thường như bình thường. Something like that. Think about human rights, like the right to live, the right to live in peace, quyền được sống hòa bình đó nha. The right to live in peace and live without being disturbed, you know, quyền được sống mà không bị ảnh hưởng bởi những cái tác nhân bên ngoài, something like that. And you can also talk about the story of how famous people always get bothered by paparazzi. Bị làm phiền bởi những thợ săn ảnh lậu. Bothered by paparazzi. Look at the story of Britney Spears. You know the story about Britney Spears, right? She was constantly harassed. She was constantly harassed by photographer or paparazzi. Thường xuyên bị quấy rối bởi những cái người thợ săn ảnh luôn á. Cô khóc luôn mà, lên trên báo đài bao nhiêu lần mà. She cried, of course. And so people should leave her alone. Yeah. Of course, a lot of famous people, they are attacked or they are targeted, bị làm giống như mục tiêu luôn á. They are targeted by the media, bị đem ra làm mục tiêu của truyền thông luôn á. And it's get ugly. That's why a lot of people, they think twice about being famous, you know. Đó là lý do tại sao nhiều người ta nghĩ lại không muốn nổi tiếng đâu. They think twice about something. Nghĩ lại về chuyện gì đó. Nghĩ lại đi. Think twice about doing something. Okay. You have some time to think about part 2 and part 3, okay? Các bạn suy nghĩ về part 2, part 3 nha. 2 phút. You have 2 minutes now. Alright, let's do it now. Trung, can you start first? Can you describe a famous person you are interested in?
Yeah, there was famous person that I am interested in.
Interested. Ba âm thôi. It's okay.
Yeah, there is one famous person that I am interested in.
Okay.
His name is Ronaldo, the famous football player, as we all know. I think he is famous for both his look and his talent.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, and unfortunately, in my country, there are not so many famous people similar to him, because most famous people in my country are working in show business.
Okay.
They most of them are singers, comedians, actors. I don't say they are bad, but they are
there's always bad.
Yeah. But sometimes they give their personal opinions about the fields that they are not related to, and their wrong viewpoints about the the things they don't know um, can influence
Okay.
the mindset of many young people, especially the people who follow them. Yeah, and for example, okay, some actors and actresses, um, they use their reputation to promote or to advertise the products,
Okay.
medical products to be exact, and we are not sure that kind of products are good or bad to uh, to their followers' health. Um,
A
yeah,
shame,
okay.
isn't it? A real
Yeah,
shame, isn't it? They should have used their social standing for the betterment of mankind, rather than
yeah, yeah.
enriching their own pockets.
Right, that's correct. Because when they use their reputation to promote some kind of products, they will get the commission or get the fee. Yeah, get a commission from the brand who connected with them to for the products promotion. Yeah,
What I say?
and okay,
A
yeah.
real damn shame. Don't use the word
Yeah.
don't use the word damn in IELTS, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Don't use
That will be a
slang,
market.
don't use any taboos, don't use any offensive words in IELTS. Đừng dùng những từ lóng,
Yeah.
không dùng từ bị cấm, từ gây xúc phạm trong IELTS. And don't use kids, okay? Use the word children or child,
Oh,
because kid, there's a slang meaning of the word kid. Có một cái nghĩa mà nghĩa lóng của chữ kid là cậu trai, cô gái mới lớn á, you know. Don't use kid, use child or children. Don't use mom or dad, use mother or father, okay? Don't use the
okay.
word stuff, đừng có dùng chữ stuff, cái từ cực kỳ không trịnh trọng luôn á. Cái thứ này, thứ kia. Don't use the word stuff. You should use the word item or goods or something like that, you know? Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah.
Quá lâu rồi. I think it's more than 2 minutes already. You should talk a lot more in part 3, you know? But
Yeah.
part 2, remember, there's a limitation in terms of time here. There's a limit. You have to follow the limit. Otherwise, people will be like, stop! You know? The examiner will stop you like that. I know it's
Okay.
rude, but that's the rule, you know? Cái luật nó vậy thôi. Mặc dù là người ta stop mình lại, nó khá là thô lỗ. Alright, Mr. please. Can you describe a famous person you are interested in?
Well, so
Yes.
well, the person I would like to talk about is Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, he's a talented American actor.
What, Catherine?
And pardon?
Yeah, we were talking about Catherine, yes. Okay, please continue.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I hear you now. Okay, good. Please continue. Nói chung là Tường xích lại gần cái máy tính hơn, nó sẽ tốt hơn. Nó gần cái microphone hơn. Try to be nearer to your microphone, you know. Okay. Okay, please describe a famous person you are interested in, please.
So the person I would like to talk about is a talented American actor and also film producer named Leonardo DiCaprio. So I first knew him through the film Titanic, a movie of love story that helped DiCaprio's career to a new level. So I remembered when I watched the film for the first time, I was only like 11 or 12, I guess. Although I didn't know anything about him, I was, really impressed with the role that he played in the film. He played a poor actress who falls in love with a beautiful rose on board, and finally he died to save her life when the ship struck
A shame,
an
isn't
ice.
it? Well, it's
Yeah.
a shame, isn't it? She should have been able to save him as well, but I don't know why the movie is like that. Anyway, why are you interested in him or her?
So there are a wide variety of reasons why I'm dying for being interested in this person. So the first reason I want to mention is that he has had a very successful career, like being one of the greatest actors in his generation, and so according to what I've search information about him. So in the past 4 years, the films in which he has been in, such as The Great Gatsby, The Wolf of Wall Street, have made collectively.
I think it's called Gatsby, The Great Gatsby.
Oh yeah.
It's called Gatsby, The Great Gatsby. Or the Wolf of Wall Street.
And wait, where were I? So obviously his success is not a fortune, but the result of his talent and dedication, commitment, and also his personality too.
Personality. It's personality.
Personality. And as far as I know, he's a kind of perfectionist, who always trying to reach the highest standards in his career. And so in one scene in the movie Revenant, I guess, his character is so hungry that he eats, raw liver.
Okay. You are going too deep into describing that. Remember, you already exceeded 4 minutes. Quá lố 4 phút rồi. Remember, part 2, you should focus on what you should say, okay? Don't go out of topic, okay? Tập trung vào những cái you should say thôi. You're talking too much about things now. Alright, you can talk a lot in part 3, but part 2, please be careful, okay?
Okay.
Alright, so let's go to part 3 of famous person now. So, Mr. Trung, please. So, what kinds of famous people are there in your country? Mr. Trung, your microphone, please.
Yeah, okay. So in my country, most of the famous people are working in the show business. Yeah.
In the what? In the show business, right?
Show business, yeah. And the difference between people today and those in the past, I think in the past the media didn't develop too much, so people should, or the famous people should try really hard to get recognized, to get the attention from other people. And nowadays, because the media play an important role in promoting the image of famous people.
In promoting their image.
Yeah, promoting the image of famous people. So I think that's what's bit different between the famous people nowadays and those in the past. Yeah. About the third question.
Wait. I asked you what kinds of famous people. I didn't ask you the differences. Em nói lộn câu rồi Trung ơi.
So yeah,
I think you answered the wrong question now. I didn't ask you about the differences.
Oh yeah. So the famous people in my country work in the show business. But they are on
cẩn thận phát âm. Careful. Business or business.
Business.
Okay.
Business. And some of But there are also famous people working in other fields, such as football, um, gym, okay, writing, yeah. But I think most of them are working in the show business. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because we get to know them much more than the normal people or other fields. Like, you don't get to hear about celebrities in other fields out of showbiz much. But that doesn't mean that the number of people in the show business, famous
Yeah,
people in the show
yeah.
business are much more, you know. Mình không thấy được những cái người nào mà nổi tiếng ở những cái ngành khác bằng những người nổi tiếng trong showbiz. Không có nghĩa là có nhiều người nổi tiếng trong showbiz hơn là những người nổi tiếng trong ngành khác nha.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Alright, so Miss Cát Tường, please. So what do you think? What are the differences between famous people today and those in the past? What do you think?
Yeah, I think there have been some, big changes in the types of people that become famous. Famous people in the past were famous because of their character, their moral values, and their contributions, and also their thoughts for the society too. But these days, people are famous for very tiny things. People become famous if they have millions of followers on social media and subscribers on YouTube. Like, obviously they get famous just by real things. Also, they can be famous for their scandals and and like if they just do weird things, that they have an impact on social medias too.
Well, that's true. Okay, very good. So, Mr. Trung, do you think famous people are necessarily good in their fields? What do you think?
Yeah, I think famous people don't have to be good in their fields to get recognized. For example, let's take Mỹ Tâm, one singer in.
Okay, when you mention a name that is not in English, you have to say who they are, you know. Khi mình nêu ra cái gì đó không phải tiếng Anh, mình phải giải thích ra đó là cái gì hoặc là ai, người đó là ai. Okay, try.
Okay, right. Okay, so I think famous people don't have to be good in their fields. For example, in my country, we have Sơn Tùng. He is a young singer. Yeah. Okay, so compared to other singers in Vietnam, his vocal is not as good as theirs, but he got recognized and well received by a lot of young people because of his style.
Very good. Well received by a lot of young people. Được nhìn nhận tốt.
By a lot of young people because of his style, the way he produced his music, and how
oh my God,
he.
Come on, careful with your pronunciation and your accent too. Cẩn thận với cái giọng và cái phát âm. The way he produced his music. Những âm đầu. The way he produced his music. His music.
Yeah. Yeah, the way he produces his music. Right. Yeah, and also the way he reacts to scandals. Contrary to other singers, when it comes to scandals or the dispute between people, Sơn Tùng chose to remain silent, and when everything got cooled down, he come back with a new.
When everything calms down, khi mọi thứ nó ổn hơn rồi. When everything calms down, khi mọi thứ nó yên ắng hơn rồi. calms down actually?
When everything calms down, he returns with a new songs, a new single, and wow, everyone around him. Okay, so I really appreciate uh, the way he reacts and the way he and his and the way he yeah, um, I appreciate the way he reacts to how
Okay, so what you meant is he's not necessarily good in his music, or but he is good in the way of dealing with people, right? Is that why?
yeah, that's correct. He's very good in dealing with people.
Right, it's a good example actually. Good. Okay, so Miss Tường, please. So what do you think? Should celebrities contribute more to the country that they live in, and why?
So I think that they should like contribute more in in the country that they live in, because that you know, celebrities have massive impacts on ordinary people as us. So every single of their actions may cause problems or impacts on their fans and also the audiences. So if they do good things, that they may have like good returning, but if they do bad things, that their fans would copy it and like do
Or
as
worse, yeah, or worse, it could basically be a very good very bad example for children to follow, you know. Có thể là một cái gương rất là xấu cho trẻ em nó tuân theo. A bad example. It could be a very good, or it could be a very bad example for children to follow, and that is very bad. Okay, anything else?
And also that, celebrities have really good income, and they kind of have a well-paid jobs too, so that they should do more kind of charity work, so that they could help the community to become better too.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Trung, please, do you think the media is putting too much attention on famous people?
Yeah, personally, I think the media is putting a lot of attention on famous people because uh, um, through this action, famous people could get more followers, and the brand can book the famous people to promote their product to boost sales, and it's like a win-win situation for both famous people and for um, the product brands. Yeah. So right now the media is putting too much attention on famous people for the sake of their business. Yeah.
Of course, for the sake of their business. Do cái lý do là for the sake of something. For the sake of their business. Cái lý do là cộng đồng doanh nghiệp thôi. For the sake of their business, they do that. But what do you think about social impact? The social impact, tác động xã hội. What do you think about the social impact of that move? Mình nghĩ gì về tác động xã hội của một cái động thái như thế, that move, động thái như thế? What is the social impact of that? Like, how does it affect people's mindset? Nó ảnh hưởng đến cái mindset, cái cách suy nghĩ con người ta như thế nào? How does it affect the intellectual level, mức độ gọi là mức độ trí lực á, hoặc là mức độ trí thức á, mức độ trí thức của con người. Because when they go on the media, all they see is just like dramas, just like breakups. They see a lot of bad things about celebrities, you know, that is just for gossiping. Dùng để mà nói tám nhảm thôi. So how does it help people to improve themselves? How does it help them to improve their skills? How does it help them? How does it help the society to be a better place? That is a social impact, you know. Nó là cái tác động xã hội đó.
Okay, so at first, the way the media has put too much attention on famous people could give them a boost in sale, but in the long run, social media users get smarter, and they see the pattern, and gradually their view or their belief on the products or on the famous people will fade away, and the social impact won't be too much. But I think if the famous people pay more attention to the skill, the way they contribute to the society, it would be a better world.
Could be a what? Could be a what?
A better world.
It could make the world a better place.
Yeah.
It could make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Nó làm cho thế giới tốt đẹp hơn rồi. Alright, good. So, Mr. Tương, please, do you think that famous people deserve to have their privacy protected? Cách nào cũng được.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that celebrities should have like greater protection from the media too. Although that they decided to live the life famous, they should still receive some kind of privacy like everyone else.
Moment. It's not very clear now. Okay, try again that sentence, please. Not like overall.
So although people decided to live the life famous, they should still receive some type of privacy like everyone else. And you know, all the paparazzi following famous people around can cause them to break. So that is what the paparazzi want. So there is plenty of information to help prove how much they need their own space, like ordinary people. So to my perspective, famous people and their children need privacy to help them stay safe and happy.
Help them stay safe, yes. And also remember one thing. Famous people are also people too. And they need to have their human rights protected. In which one of the human rights include privacy, of course. And I do believe that there should be a law against, you know, invading the privacy of people. Nên có một cái điều luật mà chống lại chuyện mà xâm phạm vào sự riêng tư người khác. There should be a law like that to prevent such a thing from happening, you know. We are normal people. We do not experience such a thing. However, for famous people, they have to face this on a daily basis. Người nổi tiếng phải đối diện cái sự xâm phạm về cái quyền riêng tư của họ hàng ngày luôn á. So we should have there should be a law against invasion or intrusion of privacy. Nên có một cái luật chống lại chuyện mà xâm phạm, hoặc là intrusion là sự xúc phạm, sự xâm nhập vào sự cà khịa cái sự riêng tư của người khác. Again, invasion or intrusion of privacy. There should be a law like that. Okay, that's good enough, I think. Okay, we have done enough practice today, I do believe. It's a good practice day. Okay, any question, class? You did well, actually. This is like a band 6.5, band 7, you know?
Wow, thank you
It's
so
very
much.
good. But Trung, you need to be careful with your pronunciation, okay? To get to band 7. And also your accent, even though it doesn't matter in IELTS, accent doesn't matter. But it affects the way people understand you, so somehow it affects your fluency as well. Cái accent, cái chất giọng mình nhiều khi mình phải cải thiện, tại vì nó không ảnh hưởng gì đến cái chuyện mà chấm điểm của IELTS cả, nhưng mà nó gián tiếp nó ảnh hưởng đến chuyện người ta hiểu mình hay không, cho nên nó ảnh hưởng gián tiếp tới cái chuyện mà fluency nha. So maybe try to be careful with your accent, the way you are speaking it, you know. Try to develop a good English accent, okay? Ráng cố gắng có một cái chất giọng tiếng Anh tốt. Pronunciation is most important, of course. Đương nhiên cái vụ mà phát âm là quan trọng nhất rồi. Alright, so any question? No? Okay, we can end it here. Thank you. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh á, để mà các bạn sẽ được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.